Stoicism isn't just an ancient philosophy, it's a powerful tool for mastering your mind and thriving in a chaotic world. It teaches you how to stay calm, focused, and unshaken, no matter what life throws your way. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, you can build unbreakable resilience and inner peace. Ready to take control of your mind and emotions? Let's dive into the world of Stoicism. In this article, we'll explore 10 Stoic principles that can help you stay unaffected by life's challenges. From focusing on what you can control to embracing adversity as a source of growth, these principles will teach you how to build mental strength, emotional detachment, and an unshakable sense of inner peace. Let's begin the journey to mastering your mind. Principle 1. Focus on what you can control. One of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is the emphasis on focusing solely on what you can control. In a world where so much is unpredictable, be it other people's actions, the economy, or unforeseen circumstances, this principle is a game changer. It shifts the focus from external events, which are beyond our influence, to our internal responses, which are the only things we truly have power over. By adopting this mindset, we take back control over our thoughts, actions, and emotional well-being. The Stoics believe that we have two types of experiences: things within our control and things outside of our control. The things we can control include our thoughts, choices, actions, and reactions. The things we cannot control are the actions of others, the weather, the economy, or any external situation. In their view, the only way to achieve peace and freedom is by concentrating on what is within our power and accepting what is not. When we focus on what we can control, we shift our attention from the uncontrollable forces of life to our own mindset and actions. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or avoiding problems, but rather choosing how we respond to them. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, you can't control the delay, but you can control your reaction. Instead of letting frustration or anger consume you, you can choose to remain calm, listen to an audiobook, or practice mindfulness. This simple shift in focus can reduce stress and improve your quality of life. The power of focusing on what we can control extends to our emotional well-being. We often find ourselves caught up in worrying about outcomes or fearing the judgments of others. Stoicism teaches us to accept that we can't control how people perceive us or the results of our actions. Instead, we can focus on doing our best in the present moment, without attachment to specific outcomes. This release from worry about what's beyond our control helps us find peace in uncertainty. By accepting that the external world is not always within our power to change, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to manipulate or fix everything around us. This realization allows us to stop wasting energy on things that don't serve us. Instead, we use our energy more wisely, focusing on improving ourselves and our responses. This leads to greater emotional resilience, mental clarity, and peace of mind. Moreover, by letting go of the need to control everything, we develop a deep sense of acceptance and trust in the flow of life. Stoics believe that life unfolds according to nature, and while we can influence our path, we should trust that things happen for a reason, even if it's not immediately clear. By focusing on our inner world, rather than constantly fighting against the uncontrollable, we cultivate a sense of tranquility and strength. In conclusion, focusing on what you can control is the key to finding peace amidst chaos. By letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable, we free ourselves from frustration and stress, allowing us to live with greater purpose, clarity, and peace. This Stoic principle teaches us that our greatest power lies in our ability to choose how we respond to life's challenges. Principle 2. Embrace adversity as a source of growth. Building on the previous point about focusing on what you can control, let's dive into the Stoic mindset of embracing adversity as a source of growth. In life, challenges and obstacles are inevitable. Instead of viewing them as setbacks or something to avoid, Stoicism teaches us to embrace these difficulties, seeing them as opportunities for transformation. After all, it's often in the toughest moments that we grow the most. When faced with adversity, many of us instinctively feel frustration, anger, or helplessness. But the Stoics suggest a powerful shift in perspective. View hardships as chances to build resilience and cultivate virtues like patience, courage, and wisdom. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound statement reveals the essence of the Stoic approach to adversity. Life is going to throw curveballs your way, but how you choose to respond can define your path forward. The concept of amor fati, or the love of fate, is central to Stoic thought. It encourages us to accept whatever happens as necessary and beneficial, rather than resisting it. Stoics believe that everything, even pain or suffering, is part of the natural order of things. By accepting it, we learn to grow stronger, wiser, and more at peace. This doesn't mean that we should enjoy suffering or avoid addressing problems, but rather that we should approach each challenge with an open mind, seeing it as a learning experience. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you lose your job unexpectedly. The typical reaction might be panic, stress, or anger. However, by adopting a Stoic mindset, you could reframe the situation. What lessons can I learn from this? What new opportunities can arise from this challenge? Maybe it's a chance to explore a new career path, learn a new skill, or simply reevaluate your work-life balance. Instead of allowing the situation to defeat you, you can view it as a stepping stone towards something better. In addition to helping us grow as individuals, adversity often brings clarity. Difficult moments strip away distractions, forcing us to focus on what truly matters. When everything seems uncertain, we are forced to confront our deepest values and priorities. The challenges that once seemed overwhelming can help us realize what is most important in life, whether that's relationships, personal growth, or pursuing a long-held passion. Moreover, embracing adversity nurtures mental toughness. The more challenges we face and overcome, the more resilient we become. Each struggle becomes a part of our inner strength, preparing us for the next challenge. By continually pushing through adversity, we not only develop emotional fortitude but also an unshakable belief in our ability to handle whatever life throws our way. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that adversity is not our enemy. It's a powerful teacher. By embracing challenges, we can transform them into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Rather than avoiding hardship, we should welcome it, knowing that it is through these trials that we truly discover our strength and potential. With this mindset, no obstacle is too great to overcome, and no setback is a reason to give up. Principle 3. Practice negative visualization. Building on the idea of embracing adversity as a source of growth, let's explore a powerful Stoic practice that prepares us for life's challenges: negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive at first, but it's a technique that can profoundly change how we experience life and its uncertainties. Negative visualization is the Stoic practice of imagining the worst-case scenario, of losing what we hold dear, facing hardships, or experiencing failure. Rather than expecting the worst, this practice involves consciously considering what could go wrong so that we're not blindsided when challenges arise. It sounds strange, but the core idea is that by mentally preparing for adversity, we can face difficult situations with a calm, clear mind and a sense of control. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said it best: "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is where negative visualization comes into play. We spend so much time fearing what could happen, losing our job, our health, or a loved one, that we often create unnecessary anxiety. By intentionally imagining these scenarios, we remove their power over us. We confront the fear, examine it, and realize that, while it may be painful, we can handle it. For example, picture yourself losing your job. The initial reaction might be panic, stress, and feelings of inadequacy. But through negative visualization, you would take a step back and ask yourself, what would I do if this happens? You might come to the realization that, while losing your job would be tough, you have the skills, resources, and resilience to move forward. You might even discover new opportunities in the process. This mental exercise doesn't make the problem go away, but it helps you gain perspective and reduces the emotional impact. Negative visualization also has the power to foster gratitude. By imagining the loss of something we take for granted, our health, our home, our loved ones, we realize how much we have right now. When we practice this regularly, it shifts our mindset from entitlement to appreciation. Instead of focusing on what's lacking or what could go wrong, we develop a deep sense of gratitude for the present moment and everything we currently possess. Another aspect of negative visualization is resilience building. Life is unpredictable, and by mentally rehearsing how we would handle loss or difficulty, we strengthen our emotional muscles. The more we practice this technique, the less we fear the unknown. We become more adaptable, more prepared, and less likely to be overwhelmed when life's inevitable challenges appear. Ultimately, negative visualization helps us cultivate an inner peace that isn't dependent on external circumstances. It teaches us that, no matter what happens, we have the power to endure, learn, and grow. By accepting the worst-case scenario in advance, we disarm fear and anxiety, making it easier to face life's uncertainties with clarity and courage. In conclusion, negative visualization is a transformative Stoic practice that prepares us for adversity and fosters resilience. By imagining the worst, we reduce fear, develop gratitude, and strengthen our ability to handle whatever life throws our way. The more we practice this technique, the more mentally and emotionally prepared we become, ultimately making us less vulnerable to the ups and downs of life. It's not about expecting the worst, but about preparing ourselves to respond to it with grace and strength. Principle 4. Control your reactions, not external events. Building on the previous principle of negative visualization, let's dive deeper into the idea of controlling your reactions, especially when faced with challenging or unexpected situations. While we cannot always control external events or what happens to us, we have complete control over how we respond to them. This Stoic principle empowers us to cultivate inner strength and resilience by teaching us to master our emotional responses, regardless of the circumstances. The Stoic philosophers, particularly Marcus Aurelius, believed that our reactions are what shape our experience. He famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This statement is incredibly powerful because it reminds us that while we can't always control the chaos of life, we do have the ability to choose how we respond to it. By focusing on our reactions, we become less susceptible to the emotional turmoil that external events often provoke. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important meeting. You might feel your blood pressure rise, frustration building as the minutes tick by. But here's where the Stoic practice comes into play. Instead of letting your emotions take over, you remind yourself that the situation is out of your control. You can't change the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. You might take a few deep breaths, listen to an uplifting podcast, or simply relax and accept the delay. By choosing to stay calm, you regain a sense of control and avoid letting the situation ruin your mood or your day. The Stoics taught that emotional detachment is a key to maintaining peace of mind. When we respond impulsively, allowing our emotions to dictate our behavior, we lose our sense of clarity and peace. By training ourselves to pause and reflect before reacting, we gain the ability to choose responses that align with our values and long-term goals. This practice helps us navigate life's challenges with wisdom, composure, and purpose. Take another example. You receive a critical comment from someone at work. The initial instinct might be to feel hurt, angry, or defensive. But through the Stoic lens, you realize that the person's comment is beyond your control. What matters is how you choose to respond. Do you react with frustration, or do you take a step back, calmly assess the feedback, and learn from it? By controlling your reaction, you prevent your emotions from clouding your judgment and instead create space for growth and improvement. One of the most powerful aspects of this Stoic principle is that it allows us to develop emotional resilience. Life will always present challenges, from difficult people to unforeseen setbacks, but our ability to control how we react to them can determine our mental and emotional well-being. When we focus on our responses, we empower ourselves to stay calm in the face of adversity, remain focused during times of stress, and cultivate a sense of inner peace that no external event can disturb. In conclusion, mastering your reactions is one of the most effective ways to build inner strength and resilience. The Stoic principle teaches us that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we have complete control over how we choose to respond. By focusing on our reactions, we reclaim our power, reduce emotional turmoil, and navigate life with greater wisdom and calm. In the end, our responses shape our reality, and with the right mindset, we can face any challenge with grace and clarity. Principle 5. Practice virtue above all else. Building on the idea of controlling your reactions, the next Stoic principle is about cultivating virtue above all else. While we cannot control every situation we encounter, we do have the power to decide how we show up in the world. Virtue, in the Stoic sense, refers to living in accordance with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, values that shape not only our actions but our character. Practicing virtue is not about seeking external approval or rewards. It's about aligning our behavior with our highest principles and striving to be the best version of ourselves in every situation. The Stoics believe that virtue is the only true good and that everything else, wealth, status, pleasure, is secondary. To them, living a virtuous life means living in harmony with nature, accepting life's challenges, and acting with integrity, regardless of external outcomes. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to chase external achievements, but Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment comes from within, through a commitment to virtuous living. Think of virtue as your inner compass, guiding your decisions, actions, and responses to life. When faced with a difficult choice, the Stoic asks, what is the virtuous course of action? This doesn't mean acting perfectly or flawlessly, but rather striving to do what is right, regardless of the consequences. For example, if you're faced with an opportunity to act dishonestly to gain something, the Stoic approach would be to choose honesty, even if it means sacrificing short-term gain. This commitment to virtue becomes the foundation for inner peace, because no matter what happens externally, you can be at peace with knowing that you acted in alignment with your highest values. Virtue also teaches self-discipline, which is essential for emotional resilience. In a world full of temptations, distractions, and pressures, practicing self-discipline helps us stay focused on our long-term goals rather than succumbing to immediate gratification. By exercising discipline in our actions, thoughts, and habits, we strengthen our capacity to remain steady in the face of challenges and to keep our minds clear amidst chaos. Whether it's avoiding impulsive decisions, sticking to healthy routines, or controlling our impulses, self-discipline is a key pillar of a virtuous life. Another important aspect of practicing virtue is serving others. Stoicism teaches that living virtuously doesn't just benefit ourselves, it benefits the world around us. Virtue is about contributing to the greater good, acting with kindness, justice, and compassion. By showing up with integrity and striving to help others, we create a ripple effect that makes the world a better place, one action at a time. In moments of difficulty, practicing virtue can provide clarity. When things go wrong, instead of dwelling on what's outside our control, we can turn inward and ask ourselves, how can I respond with virtue in this situation? Whether it's showing patience in a stressful moment, standing up for what's right, or simply acting with kindness when others may not, the pursuit of virtue becomes a guidepost in navigating life's uncertainties. In conclusion, practicing virtue above all else is the Stoic path to true happiness and fulfillment. By living in alignment with our highest values, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, we create a life of integrity and inner peace. Virtue gives us the strength to face challenges with grace, act with purpose, and be the kind of person we admire. The pursuit of virtue, rather than external success or validation, becomes the ultimate goal, leading to a life of meaning, satisfaction, and resilience. Principle 6. Embrace adversity as a path to growth. Building on the foundation of practicing virtue, another key Stoic principle is to embrace adversity as a path to growth. Life, by nature, is filled with challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. While many people shy away from difficulties or feel defeated by them, Stoicism teaches us that adversity isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. In fact, it's often through our struggles that we discover our true strength, resilience, and potential. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." This powerful statement reminds us that adversity reveals our character. It's in moments of hardship that we can demonstrate the very virtues we aspire to: patience, courage, perseverance, and wisdom. Instead of avoiding or resenting challenges, Stoics view them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Think about a time in your life when you faced a major challenge, whether it was a personal setback, a professional failure, or a difficult decision. At first, the situation might have seemed overwhelming or even insurmountable. But over time, you may have realized that, through facing this adversity, you grew stronger, wiser, and more capable. Stoics believe that it's these very struggles that shape us into the best versions of ourselves. When we learn to view adversity as an ally, rather than an enemy, we can face life's difficulties with a sense of purpose and confidence. The idea of embracing adversity is closely tied to the Stoic concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This philosophy teaches us to love whatever happens to us, whether good or bad, because everything is part of the greater plan of life. Rather than resisting or complaining about difficult situations, we learn to accept them as opportunities for growth. It's through embracing both the ups and downs of life that we develop resilience, adapt to change, and become more at peace with the unpredictability of existence. One way to practice this principle is by reframing challenges. When faced with adversity, ask yourself, how can I use this experience to become stronger? For instance, if you're facing a tough situation at work, instead of focusing on the stress or frustration, Shift your focus to the lessons you can learn. Will this challenge help you build new skills? Will it teach you how to communicate better, think critically, or manage your emotions? By reframing adversity as a tool for personal development, you transform it from a burden into a valuable opportunity. Additionally, embracing adversity also means developing mental toughness. Life will never be free of obstacles, but our ability to navigate them with grace and perseverance makes all the difference. When we face challenges head-on, we become more resilient, and each difficulty we overcome strengthens our emotional endurance. Rather than seeking comfort or avoiding hard situations, we can seek challenges that push us to grow and evolve. In conclusion, embracing adversity is essential to living a Stoic life. By viewing life's challenges as opportunities for growth, we cultivate strength, resilience, and wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that adversity is not something to fear or avoid, but rather a valuable teacher that helps us build the character we need to thrive. When we learn to embrace difficulties with grace and courage, we transform life's obstacles into stepping stones on our journey towards self-improvement and fulfillment. Principle 7. Live in harmony with nature. Continuing from the previous principle of embracing adversity as a path to growth, the next key Stoic lesson is to live in harmony with nature. This doesn't just mean living in sync with the natural world around us, but also aligning with the natural flow of life and human nature. Stoics believe that true happiness and peace come from understanding and accepting the natural order of the universe and living in accordance with it. For the Stoics, living in harmony with nature means understanding that life is governed by natural laws, and we, as individuals, are a part of a greater system. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously said, "A good character, when established, is like a tree that, no matter how it is bent by the storm, remains firm and true to its nature." This quote captures the essence of living harmoniously with nature. It's about understanding that challenges and difficulties are part of the larger process of life and growing from them. Our role isn't to fight against nature, but to accept and adapt to it with wisdom and grace. One of the key aspects of living in harmony with nature is understanding and accepting impermanence. Life is constantly changing, and nothing stays the same forever. By acknowledging the transitory nature of life, we free ourselves from the attachment to things, people, and situations. Everything, from our emotions to our circumstances, is temporary. By accepting this, we can let go of unnecessary expectations and frustrations, allowing us to flow more smoothly with life's ups and downs. Living in harmony with nature also means understanding our role as human beings. Stoics believe that we were born to use reason, to act with virtue, and to contribute to society. By recognizing that we are part of a larger world, connected to other people, to the environment, and to the universe itself, we develop a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Our actions should be in line with this purpose, and we should seek to fulfill our potential by contributing positively to the world around us. A practical example of this principle could be seen in how we deal with stress. In a fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant pressure to succeed, keep up, or achieve more. However, by living in harmony with nature, we remind ourselves that we don't need to fight against the flow of life. We need to accept the rhythm of existence. Rather than overloading ourselves with unrealistic expectations, we learn to balance ambition with contentment, accepting where we are in the present while working towards our goals. This acceptance and understanding bring peace and allow us to move forward with clarity and purpose. Another key aspect of this principle is recognizing the importance of self-awareness. By observing ourselves and our thoughts, we can become more attuned to what is natural for us as individuals. We can identify patterns in our behavior and mindset that may be causing us to act out of sync with our true nature. By living in harmony with our authentic selves, we can align our actions with our values and purpose. In conclusion, living in harmony with nature is a powerful Stoic principle that invites us to embrace the natural flow of life. By accepting the impermanence of all things, recognizing our role as human beings, and aligning our actions with our true nature, we find greater peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Rather than struggling against life's challenges, we learn to flow with them, using them as opportunities to grow and evolve. When we live in harmony with nature, we create a life that is more balanced, meaningful, and resilient. Before we wrap up, if this video resonated with you and you're ready to embrace these Stoic principles in your life, show some love. Like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. How will you use these Stoic lessons to transform your mindset? We'd love to hear from you. And hey, Don't forget to check out our other videos for more life-changing insights that can help you grow, stay resilient, and live your best life. Subscribe so you never miss a chance to reach your peak potential. Flexed biceps.